A few weeks ago, I redesigned my personal portfolio page to look and feel like a coding agent CLI, like Claude Code. Complete with tool calls, response streaming, it looks like a user interacting with the agent asking questions about myself. And as an added bonus, users can even send it questions, and it will answer questions from a knowledge base. How's it? I'm Leon. Whenever I share my portfolio page, people ask me how I built it. In today's video, I'll build this with you. We'll start with a blank project, use Claude Code to build this, and deploy it to production within only a few minutes. And by the way, feel free to check out my website. There are tons of Easter eggs in this, from keyboard shortcuts to slash commands. There's a lot of fun stuff in here. Now for the fun part, let's build this. Open up a blank folder and in the terminal run the command npx create next app, add latest space period. This will download and install Next.js. Since we're using Next.js, I like to download and install the next best practices skill. So simply copy this command, then back in our project's terminal, let's paste in that command, let's select Claude Code, press enter, install it at project level, and let's complete the installation. And secondly, I'm also going to install the front-end design skill. This will give us a way better UI experience. Right, let's open our coding agent. I'll be using Claude Code in this video, but it really doesn't matter. Use whatever coding agent you're comfortable with. Then let's switch to planning mode, and to save on time, I'm simply going to paste in the prompt. By the way, you can download these prompts and the code absolutely free. I'll link to the GitHub repo in the description. I'll simply create this new folder called resources, and in that let's create a folder called prompts. And in that folder, you'll find this research and build prompt. It's very simple. It simply tells the agent to build a terminal style page. So back in Claude Code, let's paste in that prompt. As Claude pulled together this information about me, I'll just say this looks good and use it as is. Awesome. I'm just going to approve this implementation plan. Right, so now that Claude is busy shenanigans, I would appreciate if you could hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more agentic coding content. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, which feels unreal to me. And let's have a look. This is awesome. At this stage, we don't have those typing animations and response streaming, but we will get to that in the next section. At this stage, all we're interested in is to see if this UI makes sense and that the information provided is accurate. And by the way, I provided an image of myself to Claude and simply asked it to use it in the page as well. I provided a link to my GitHub repository as well, so the agent was able to pull links to these repos. So let's continue this conversation. First, I'm just going to check the context window to see if we're still safe. We're only using about 9% of the context window, so I'll just keep going in the same session. Now in this prompts folder, you can simply open up the second file, and again, you can copy this. It's totally free. You can get it from the repository. All this section is doing is it's explaining to the agent how to add these animations. So all of these sections will stream in one after another, and this will also mimic things like tool calls and the responses streaming in from the agent. So let's simply paste in that prompt, and now we're cooking. Check this out. So let's refresh the page, and look at that. That is awesome. And if we scroll down, we can actually see everything streaming in one by one. And what I also like is, and I might have to just zoom in a little bit, but you can see these sort of fictitious tool calls. It just looks so cool. And what you will also notice is that if you refresh the page, the animations don't play again, because you don't want to force your visitors to re-watch the animations every time they visit your page. But if they want to replay the animations, they can simply click on New Session, and then everything streams in again. You can definitely have a lot of fun with this, but something I do want to set up is this little chat window at the bottom. Then for that, I've created another prompt for you, and this might look and feel like a chatbot, but it's actually not. It's not using real inference. All we're doing is we're creating this qa.json file with a bunch of questions and answers, and then we're using good old regex to try and find an answer that closely resembles the question. This is not really intended to be an accurate chatbot, it's just for fun. So what we can do is copy this prompt, and let's send that to the agent as well. And I'll just use the Claude Code window that I've pulled up on the side over here. By the way, if you are following along, leave a link in the description to your portfolio page. I read all of my comments, so I'll definitely check it out. And we're done. We now have this ask section, and we can type whatever we want in there. And this is streaming back the results as well. That is really cool. If you ever wanted to add additional Q&As, you can simply add it to this Q&A.json file. And here we have a whole bunch of patterns that we could match on with a suitable answer. Our portfolio page is looking great, but how do we now move this to production so that anyone can view it? The first thing we need to do is create a commit for all of this. So I'll just call this final. Then let's publish this branch. And I'm just going to call this repository portfolio website tutorial. So if you guys want, you can download it. You can get the prompts from this repository. I'll link to it in the description as well. Now that our project is on GitHub, what we have to do now is deploy it to a hosting service. In this video, we will be using Hostinger, so I'll leave a link to this page in the description of this video. Let's go with the business plan, which is only $4 a month. And by the way, you get a free domain with these packages. So you can choose your period from 1 month to 48 months. And at this point, you can actually search for your domain. For example, I could register leonvansale.site, and the first year is absolutely free. I also partnered with Hostinger to give you an additional discount. If you enter the coupon code LEONHOSTING, you will get an additional 10% off. Alright, so after checkout, I'm just going to continue with the process. On the screen, I'll just say that I'm deploying this for myself. Let's migrate an existing site. And down here, let's scroll down to deploy your Node.js web app. Now, at this stage, we can enter a domain name for our website. Now, I've already got my domain registered, so I'm not going to waste a domain. I'll just go to use temporary domain. Now, this screen is really important. If you want, you can simply grab your project files, add them to a zip file, and upload them from the screen. But I prefer to use GitHub. So from this screen, I'll select only selected repositories. Then I'll select my portfolio website repo, which we just created. And let's click on install and authorize. And now all we have to do is select our repo and click on continue. And that's it. Our site is live. So whether you registered a domain or just using the temporary link, we can now test our app. All the animations are playing. It's just working. Come on, how easy was that? As I mentioned, if you're using a temporary domain and you want to register a domain afterwards, you can simply go back to your dashboard and then click on Connect Domain. And at this point, you can search for a domain and register it against that website. Since we're building a Next.js application, sometimes you want to build advanced apps that need environment variables. So if you ever want to set your environment variables, you can simply go to this environment variables section. Of course, that's not needed for our portfolio website. What I do want to show you though is this deployment section. The benefit of connecting GitHub to Hostinger is that our changes will automatically be deployed to Hostinger. So let's make a change. Change the text colors from orange to purple. Then we can push this change to GitHub. And check this out. When we go back to Hostinger, we can see that new deployment is being built. And now that the build is complete, we can go back to our app and let's refresh this. And for better or for worse, the text is now purple. And this is how easy it is to build your very own portfolio website. Now go and build something lekker.